Wouldn't that gospel be so much more powerful than the old law? I don't got to do nothing but say yes. I don't have to go sacrificing. I don't have to kill the animal. I don't have to make these long journeys. I just got to say yes. The peace to that. Well, we forget that in our everyday gospel. Because we forget to share what the law meant to them back then. Our life, in a certain way, as we were growing up before we became Christians, was some version of a law. Maybe not a religious law, but we had laws. I live this way, I act that way, and I'm good with it. But then we started seeing the parallel, the total opposites. This is the way the enemy lives. And sometimes the enemy even takes over religious systems. This is how a religious system lives. This is peace, joy, happiness, the fruit of the Spirit we talked about. This is the way I want you to live. Verse 15. For this reason, he's the mediator and negotiator of a new covenant. That is an entirely new agreement uniting God and man, so that those who have been called by God may receive the fulfillment of the promised eternal inheritance, since a death has taken place as the payment, which redeems them from the sins committed under the obsolete first covenant. Amplified just makes it so much better here. For this reason, he's a mediator and negotiator. Daniel, if you accept this contract, you will no longer have to go kill animals in this old system. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's negotiated the contract. He's like Walmart. He went to the clothing dealer and said, "Hey, I'll buy 5 million pieces of clothing for, hey, we normally sell these clothing for $10 a piece to everybody else. No. I'm buying as much as the whole world here. You're going to sell them to me for $2 so that I can sell them to my people for $5. I'm going to undercut all of your other customers, but eventually I'm going to buy more than them anyway." Jesus and the Father, that little round table or little table that I talk about, before they created anything, they had the negotiations. I think I just want some more kids. I'm thinking about creating something called a human. And Jesus goes, well, if you create humans, you're going to give them this free will that you talked about, they're probably going to mess it up. And I'll tell you what, I'll sign the dotted line. I will eventually be their Redeemer. And the Holy Spirit says, you know what? Even though you're the Redeemer, they're still going to screw it up. So I'll go and I'll be there in power to help them accomplish that on earth as you're going. And I will be the power behind what you want to accomplish through them and the power of what you want to accomplish in them. And the negotiation and the contract was sealed, and then thousands of years later, we're still seeing it play out. But I love the mediator part. And there's a couple cool things in here that Daniel's already brought up. He sat down. It's done. Jesus doesn't have to go to that cross every 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. Once. And it's done. That's how powerful his blood is. That's how powerful his word is. That's how powerful the covenant is.
And you don't have to go to him and be saved.
That's right.
Every 5 years or every year.
That's right. And as far as I know, Christianity is the only religion that the God or the being died for you and was a sacrifice, and you didn't have to do something for him to be accepted. We're the only one. All we have to do is say yes and start changing our lifestyle with the empowerment of the Holy Spirit to do that. Everything else says you have to do this, that, or the other to be accepted. That's powerful. I am going to come down from my heavenly realm as your God to give you away and bring peace to you as your mediator. That's powerful. And I love this. He says some other things here. An entirely new agreement uniting God and man, so that those who have been called by God, again, called by God, may receive the fulfillment of the promise, the eternal inheritance. You look through the Old Testament, some of the things that was happening, that there's a foreshadow of that. There's a lot of cool stuff there. The fulfilling of the eternal inheritance. Since death has taken place as the payment which redeems. Why were they accepted with their however many sacrifices they did on a daily basis? And why were they accepted when they came once a year in case they missed one? The blood. Something had to die. Something had to die. And Jesus says, I'll just go ahead and fulfill this because the goats can't do it. Which redeems them from the sins committed under the obsolete first covenant. It's fascinating. Verse 16. For where there is a will,